Okay, friends, this unit is faster than the last unit because most of this we're going to be doing within class. A couple definitions here. We have three things in geometry: sketches, drawings, and constructions. Sketches are just what you make when you freehand a picture. Okay, you're just using a pencil and a piece of paper. A drawing is when you're actually trying to go for accuracy using straight edges, protractors, maybe a template, or a computer. Constructions, you only use two instruments: an unmarked straight edge and a compass. Okay, so our assumptions for diagrams. When we are working with diagrams, we need to assume these things. Correct assumptions are there is collinearity and betweenness of points. So we're going to assume that 2 points are collinear, even if maybe it doesn't quite look perfect. We're going to assume we correctly assume that 2 lines intersect, or there's an intersection. And even if our lines don't look perfectly straight, we are going to assume they're straight. An incorrect assumption would be exact angle measurements. We are not going to assume an angle measurement. Okay, we need to measure it. We are not going to assume lines are perpendicular. We're going to need to either prove that they're perpendicular or measure the right angles. And we're not going to assume parallel lines. We must either prove that, be told that within the picture with markings, or be able to measure it. So example number 1 says to state whether each statement can be assumed from this drawing. Now remember, we want drawings to mark for us everything. So let's look at A. Point V is between Y and W. Yes, we can assume betweenness. If it looks like V is between Y and W, yes, we can assume that. B, that WZY, I'm going to kind of highlight this for you. WZY is a right angle. It looks like a right angle, but we cannot assume angle measurements. It needs to either be marked for us with the little square in the corner, or we need to measure with protractors. So no, we cannot assume that that is a right angle. C, the C's assumption wants us to assume that WX is parallel to YZ. So it wants us to assume this. Now it's not marked within the picture, and we cannot assume that lines are parallel unless it's marked. And last but not least, that ZW is congruent to ZY. Again, no, we cannot assume lengths of lines or segment measurements. We cannot assume segment lengths. Okay? So pretty easy when you go to prove and do proofs later on. If you're like, well, it looks parallel, I'm going to kind of snap at you and be like, We don't go by the way something looks. You must prove. Okay? All right, so for this section of your notes, what I want you to do is I want you to kind of go through example 1, or construction 1, construction 2, and construction 3, and kind of follow the step-by-step notes on how to, in construction 1, it's going to be how to construct a circle with a given radius length. Construction 2 is going to be how to copy a segment. And construction 3 is how to copy an angle. Now in class tomorrow, I want you to be prepared to be able to do all 3 of these things, at least with the guided instructions. So if you look at each one, you have numbered instructions right here. 1, 2, 3, first do this, then do that. So take your time, take a little bit of paper and your pencil and your compass with straight edge. It could be the edge of a protractor. It could be the edge of a piece of paper. And begin to try these. We're going to do a lot of constructions in class, and we're going to work on this tomorrow. Okay? All right, friends, that's it. Short and sweet.